Alright. As tired, hardworking college students, it is assumable that the thing we lack the most is sleep. Besides procrastinating for tests or staying up super late to study, there are some things that are completely out of your control about your lack of sleep, and that is daylight savings time. Daylight savings time happens biannually in the U.S. and is a much larger issue than people think. Since I was a kid, I have extremely struggled from adapting to the change of schedule when daylight savings comes around. By removing the daylight saving time switch, we can and will live better. From having a more prosperous economy to better health and assured safety, from the spring forward, fall back, this will no longer impact our lives. The U.S. adopted the annual use of daylight savings in 1966, but lengthened its duration in 1986 and again in 2007. For the past 5 years, the extended daylight savings time has begun on the second weekend of March, which is coming up, and ended the first Sunday of November. Today, I will share with you how daylight savings affects our economy, politics, and human health. Health. Light is one of the most important aspects to our health. As humans, our body naturally makes body clocks when we eat, when we sleep, when our brain works the fastest, when we can run the fastest, and more. The idea of fighting against our biological body clocks automatically is detrimental to our health. And unfortunately, daylight savings does just that. According to the Journal of Biological Rhythms article, Why We Should Abolish Daylight Savings, written in 2019, as the Earth naturally rotates towards the east, it has been found that the further west people live within a time zone, the more health problems they may experience, and the shorter life on average they have. The best explanation for this finding is that the difference between our social clock set by us and our body clock set by the sun increases towards the western edges of these time zones. Seeing that 20 out of 22 of us are from California, which is 91% of us, live in Pacific time zone, this has a huge effect on our lives. The dreaded switch of daylight savings times has life-threatening effects to human life. As research states in National Geographic articles written in 2017, the case for and against daylight savings time, it has been found that the first Monday of daylight savings has a 25% higher risk of heart attacks than a normal Monday, and this risk drops by 21% when the time clock moves back. Additionally, the average American worker loses about 40 minutes of sleep per night from daylight savings. Because of these negative effects in human function, the impact of human safety is a high concern. In Rachel Corrett's 2017 article, Impacts of Saving Time on Road Traffic Collision Risk, a Systematic Review, says, it has been argued that road traffic collision risk is at highest in the late afternoon and evening hours because of the deteriorating light conditions and driver fatigue from the lack of sleep. And these are the main factors of collision. Because of these obvious and impactful events, we should not fight against our natural body clock. So we should then abandon daylight savings or return to standard time or even implement a year-round daylight savings. Second is economics. Advocating for a year-round savings time has many benefits, including an economic boost. As having the sun set later in the evening, leaving it lighter outside towards the end of the day, more daylight means less demand for lights and electricity. In the Business Insider article written by Dave Mosier in 2018, the total electricity saving is about 0.03% of our electricity consumption throughout the year. Even though that may seem like a really small number, that is $130 million saved per year on electricity. As the extra hours of daylight saves electricity, it also reduces crime and increases spending. According to Wall Street Journal article, U.S. sets to expand daylight savings. Robbery falls on average 7% when it's lighter in the evening, revealing that $59 billion in social costs is saved from annual robbery reduction. Additionally, consumers spend more because their psychological clock when it's lighter outside. Next is political. As 48 out of the 50 states participate in daylight savings times, 36 out of those states have already tried to change this policy at least once. Written in San Diego Union Tribune in 2018 by Gazi Berry, on November 6, 2016, the voter of California voted 60% to no longer change this twice-a-year daylight savings. If a bill was put into place, California's change to permanent daylight savings would have to be authorized by the federal government before it was reinstated. In conclusion, if we want to improve human health and life itself, we should abandon daylight savings. Kids could play longer, we could sleep better, all while being in sync with the rest of the nation. Scott Yanks, a tech startup who found the leading advocate of the movement to get rid of time change, has created Lock the Clock. This movement is to stop changing clocks for daylight savings time. If you feel encouraged, you should visit this website to view his blogs or any other information you'd like to see. As the bill to end daylight savings is reinstated in 2020, we have the ability to actually make a difference.